I'ma zip tie anything I can, baby. Let's just be clear. Sometimes that comes and bites me, right? Yeah, I won't be doing that. I'm happy that I broke the rule that they got out there. So pretty. Hello, welcome to Yellow Door Urban Homestead. I am Asia and I'm an urban gardener growing in a small space out in my backyard. But this morning I'm out in the greenhouse. I was sitting here, I was drinking coffee with my feet up on my home and garden trend stool doing nothing. And I was like, you really should be doing a video. And I knew I should. I came out here to kind of look around because if you remember my last video, I told you I didn't have much to do. And that was not true. I put it on the screen. It's not that I don't have much to do. I don't have things that's pressing to do. And so I don't have to rush out here and do this and do that. And I can attribute that, I think, to planning out my garden this year pretty nicely. So anyway, what I do want to talk about today is tomatoes. Somebody left a comment and they said, have you already showed how you prune your tomatoes? I have not, but I have been pruning them and I have been tying them up. And I am trellising my tomatoes in different ways all over the garden this year. I have shown y'all that, but I can give you a little update. I'm in the greenhouse. We won't be in here long because it is 94 degrees. I've been out here for quite some time though. Like I was out here before it got hot in here. And now I'm finally deciding to pick up the camera. So I'm gonna show you how I prune. I'm gonna show you that some of my tomatoes are growing on 2 liters and I need to get another stake in here for the 2nd liter. I've just kind of talked through tomatoes if we're honest because I don't have anything else to talk about today. I mean, I have things to talk about. I was gonna do a garden tour, but I just don't feel like a lot has changed. So I was like, I don't wanna keep doing garden tours of pretty much the same things without a lot of growth. So with that being the case, we're gonna talk about tomatoes today. And so tomatoes are one of those plants that people say are hard to grow. They say don't start with tomatoes. I've heard people say it, not everyone, because listen, the way I look at it, I say start with whatever you wanna start with. I say start with everything. If you're that type of person. That's the type of person I am, right? Because let me just tell y'all real quick, the Quail area, that old coop is actually pretty awful. What I'm gonna do, and y'all know I hate doing this, I'm gonna build something, but it's gonna be easy. The same way I build that enclosure with T-posts and just like 2x4s, and then I think a 4x6. Think that's what it is. I'm just gonna create one over in the corner for them. Then I'm gonna take the top of that coop off, sit it down on like cinder blocks so I still don't have to get way down on the ground to get to it because one of the legs just like broke off. I would never buy that coop again. It was very nice to look at, but if you don't have super level ground, like that coop is not cool. I got it from Tractor Supply. Very nice to look at. And I will say it has lasted us for what, like 2 or 3 years, but just no, absolutely not. Anyway, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna build it. And I said to myself, I built the whole outside enclosure. I can do it again. And then I'm gonna put hardware cloth, probably not chicken wire, hardware cloth on it because predators can get through chicken wire. So yeah, that is my plan. Not gonna do it today because we're supposed to be like 90 some degrees. And actually, I'm probably not gonna finish it in one day because our temperatures are in like 90 some degrees at this point. I probably have to do it in the mornings and in the evenings, but that's what I'm gonna do. Then I'm gonna get the quail back outside. I'm hopeful to get that done this week. Anyway, I'm going to get my twine that is biodegradable so that if it falls in the garden bed, it will degrade. I'll be right back. So I got that and some scissors. I got this from Bootstrap Farmer. It's biodegradable. I felt like I wanted to start doing that. I have been using yarn that I use for crocheting, but I've also started finding it throughout the garden and it's not breaking down. So wanted something that would break down. Let us go. So yeah, that's what we're gonna use. And I probably gotta get some more. Oh, that's the other thing we gotta do this week, y'all. We gotta get the shade cloth on this greenhouse too. Like we really gotta get that done because like I said, it's 99 degrees in here. It's probably 9 something in the morning. It's already hot. It is actually 100 degrees in here already. So yeah, we gotta get the shade cloth on. It's 9:52 in the morning. I'm in Virginia, zone 7B, in case you're new here. All right, let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's first talk about these stakes. These stakes I got from Lowe's. I wanna say they're probably, I don't know, maybe $4 or $5 a piece, I think. And I personally was buying, I wanna say maybe 5 a week, every week so that I could get a good amount of them. When I used these in the bags, they were better better than bamboo stakes, but they still weren't great because you cannot get them down into the ground. And here they're working really well because they're down in the ground. Now, I don't have any tomatoes on these plants weighing them down, but for now, so far, I've really enjoyed them. Also, I want to show you something real quick. If you can see, let me see if I can zoom in. So you see right here, I tied this around the stake first. I saw Jacques in the garden do this the other day, and I was like, that kind of makes sense. If you look down my tomato, I just loosely tied it around the stake and around the tomato, and I didn't make a knot or anything right here, but that secures it so it doesn't slide up and down the stake. And I was like, that's actually a really great idea. I will link Jacques in the garden. He is a part of Epic Gardening. Yeah, so see, it gives some strength here, but also holds the tomato and gives space for the tomato to expand. So that's what I've been doing. So you see this right here? This is gonna grow into another stem of this plant. And because it's indeterminate, we don't want that. Or I don't want that. You might want that. But I don't want that because I don't want it to be too many leaves in here and then we won't have a good amount of airflow. So I go through and any of those that's showing up between the main stem, so this is the main stem right here, and the leaf, these are the side leaves. If any show up in between there, I pull them out. That'll help me to avoid disease because it's gonna get quite humid in this greenhouse. It's gonna get hot in this greenhouse. That's gonna help me avoid diseases in here. This is my first time successfully growing indeterminates in the greenhouse, in a greenhouse. I say successfully because I see flowers. The plants look healthy, and I have not had this before because I have not had success. And mostly because my greenhouse, and we always talk about this, but if you're new here, my other greenhouse, my quick tent greenhouse, it doesn't get enough sun. So I feel like we are having a successful time in here. And I know one of the things that I hear all the time is about humidity and airflow. And because it's inside of a greenhouse, you are already lacking a little bit of airflow because it's inside of a structure. Even with the walls up, there's still a lack of airflow in here. So with that being the case, I am pruning very heavily. Like I'm keeping on top of these. So when you see these start to grow, for me, because I live in a humid area, because I'm growing them in the greenhouse, I am going to heavily prune them, which out in my garden, I have not pruned plants before. They've grown just fine. In here, I think it's a different environment because for one, I'm sitting in here and I can feel that it's a different environment. We're not gonna finish this right now because it's hot. I just wanted to show you, the double leader. So when I say double leader, if you see here, you got a main stem here, you have a main stem here. So these both will basically be two stems, and this is what they call double leader. Now, if you look right here, hope y'all can see it. This is a sucker. This is a sucker that I missed. And I'm just gonna take it out because we already, and I should have cut it, but I got it. So I would have ended up with a third leader of a plant, and I do not want it. I just want this one here and this one right here. So right there are our two leaders. Other thing is, in the greenhouse, I'm gonna make sure I come through and hand pollinate. Hand pollinate just means kind of tapping the flowers because tomatoes have everything they need inside of their flowers to grow an actual tomato. They are inside of this greenhouse, which means they're not actually getting a lot of wind, like I said earlier. Airflow. I come in and I just tap on them to make sure that I am moving the flowers so that the pollen and everything that's needed can move around inside of the flower to help me produce a tomato. Whew, hey, get out of there, y'all. But that's how I'm growing tomatoes inside of the greenhouses. Now, in the quick tent greenhouse, and we'll go over there and look, we have dwarf tomatoes. So smaller tomatoes, they're called patio. So I guess they're not dwarf, they're just a smaller variety, right? I won't be pruning them. I won't be pruning them because they're not going to just keep growing. So the tomatoes that's in this greenhouse, the Bootstrap Farmer one, those are indeterminate tomatoes. And they will just keep growing and growing and growing. They can have like 7 to 8 feet long vines because they're just gonna keep growing, which is why I'm staking them. The ones that are in the quick tent greenhouse, they are determinate. So they're not gonna just keep growing. But what I will tell you is last year, they produced tomatoes for me all season. They went all the way up until fall. Like I ended up pulling them. And I've told that story already. So they're just gonna keep growing, but they're not gonna grow a long vine. They are like a compact plant, if you will. And so with that being the case, I'm not going to prune them like I'm pruning the indeterminate ones in the Bootstrap Farmer greenhouse. Now, when you pull those suckers, you can actually make another plant from this. I think people aren't sure if I know that, and they tell me that all the time, right? I just like to start seeds, right? It's just a thing that I like to do. So I know that with my herbs, I can pull a piece and root it. I know I can do it with my tomatoes, my dahlias. There's so many plants you can do it with, right? I just really like to start seeds. I think that starting seeds and seeing a whole plant grow from something this small, and then knowing that like when you start getting all of the harvest from it, that it came from a seed this small, something this small, it does it for me. So with that being the case, I like to start seeds, and I'm gonna throw this back on the garden bed, and I'm gonna let it feed the soil, and if I want another tomato, I'm gonna start it from seed. Now, what I will say is if you have a short growing season, this is a great way to get another tomato plant started. If you don't like starting seeds yourself, this is a great way to get another plant started. If you just want another plant and you want to do it the easy way, this is a great way to get another plant started. The easiest way is to put it in some water and make sure that you change that water out like every 3 to 4 days so it's not getting cloudy and getting gross. And you're going to eventually start to see roots form. Now, there's a thing on the internet that says the roots are forming from these little hairs, right? Then there's another thing on the internet that said that is not where the roots are coming from. You know what I don't know is where the roots are coming from. But what I do know is it will form roots. And so you're not gonna get the most scientific from me because I don't know. I'm not going to recite things that I read. I'm not gonna recite things that I heard people say. And if I do, I'm gonna say, I read, I heard someone say it. But if it's not my experience, I'm not gonna say it. My experience is I have set this in water and it has rooted. I don't know where the roots came from, but I know that it rooted. So this is going back into the garden bed. I'm gonna let it feed the garden. But this is a great way to get another tomato started, and it will grow just like a regular tomato plant, in case you wanted to do that. And later on today, I'm going to go in there and finish. That'll be later on tonight because like I said, it's hot in there. Y'all wanna see the tomatoes in the quick tent greenhouse? They are patio variety. Oh, I did not tell you the varieties in there. I do it all the time in the garden tours, but in case you've never seen a garden tour. We have a Sweet 100, Super Sweet 100. They grow the biggest truss of tomatoes, and I have never done that before. They're cherry tomatoes. So I have 4 of those plants in there because I really want to grow it. I want to be able to hold up that truss of tomatoes, and then I also want to taste them. They say super sweet, so I hope they are super sweet. So I have 4 of those. I have a tomato called a Rosale. It's a smoky looking red tomato, burgundy looking, and someone sent it to me here. They said that it was their favorite. Then I think I heard someone say it has the flavor of a Cherokee purple. I love Cherokee purple tomatoes, so I really wanted to try that. We also have Brad's Atomic Grape. Those are plants from seeds that I saved last year. My Brad's Atomic Grape plants last year went from spring when I put them in all the way to fall, and they were producing. So I was like, oh, we most definitely have to save these seeds and plant them again. We have a great white. I love a white tomato too. There's a white tonsil and there's a great white. This year I decided to plant the great white. They are very mild tomatoes and they taste really good. I don't really love acidic tomatoes for fresh eating on sandwiches, cucumber and tomato with feta cheese salad, things like that. I don't like eating that with a red tomato. So I grow oranges, yellows, whites, those kind of Cherokee purples for that kind of thing. So these are gonna be fresh eating tomatoes in here. And then we have a Cherokee purple. We have 2 Cherokee purples. One is not doing well because we get less light. I think at the end throughout the day, my Cherokee purples are planted at the back of that bed. But anyway, this is basically my fresh eating tomatoes. Also more than likely gonna be tomatoes that I give away because I normally get a lot of tomatoes and I normally always have to give them away. I no longer work. Well, I do this for my job. I no longer leave the home to work, and I used to take them to my job and I would just give them away. Now, I am hoping to find a place to donate them. There's a few places I'm checking, trying to find out, because I have said before, we have a lot more food than we need, but I am super excited to have that ability in my backyard to have more food than we need to be able to help my community and my family and my friends as well. Anyway, now that we're done with that, we went a whole rant, but it did start off about tomatoes. All right, let's go look at the tomatoes in the quick tent greenhouse. Look at her. She loves this greenhouse and she normally goes inside of it. What are you doing? This zucchini looked terrible, but I'm pretty sure it's just from the sun. This one does too, from the heat and the sun in here. These are our patio tomatoes and we already have some flowers on it. So I do come in here and I just kind of wiggle them around so that they can be pollinated. But if you could tell, they've grown quite a bit. I said I was going to stake these. Pretty sure I'm gonna go and get some tomato cages. I have been having success with those tomato cages. I don't know why they get such a bad name. Now, like I always say, or not like I always say, but like I just said, in the greenhouse, we don't have any tomatoes weighing anything down just yet. So, I mean, right now, I'm having good success. I almost stepped on her. She didn't even move, y'all. Look at her. She loves the sun. She stay in the sun. It's a bunch of shade over here, but she loves the sun. Anyway, we don't have any tomatoes weighing anything down yet, but so far it is controlling the tomato plants. I'm probably gonna go and get some more tomato cages because, so one thing I will say, tomato cages, if they continue to do what they're supposed to do, is less work than staking because I don't have to come back through and tie them up. Now, I don't think tomato cages would work well for indeterminate tomatoes, but for determinate tomatoes and for short compact varieties, I think they would work well. They have been working well for me. So speaking of those, let's go talk about it. Look at them potatoes, y'all. They look so good. And look, the chamomile and the calendula. I already harvested this stuff this morning and there's gonna be some more ready in a few. Yeah, like, anywho. These are the tomatoes that's in the cages. These are also determinate, not short and compact. Now, what I will tell you, this is a patio choice yellow. This thing is huge. And I put that in a green stalk. So, girl, I don't know what that's gonna look like. I'm glad I put it at the top. Anyway, what I was saying was, see, there's nothing that I'm having to do right now. But again, we don't have any kind of tomatoes weighing anything down yet. I did zip tie mine together. So if you're new here, I did a video. It was nothing special. They are all growing in 7-gallon bags. I am using a sprinkler this year. This is a lot of space to hand water, and I'm using a sprinkler this year. And when I say it's a lot of space to hand water, I mean, I heard my dog moving, but it just sounded big and close to me. Sorry, y'all. Over there, greenhouses, green stalks, I'm hand watering those. Over here, we've been using the sprinkler. We probably gonna continue to use the sprinkler, y'all. That's the sprinkler right there. And I don't mind watering my garden. I really don't. I actually enjoy it, which is why I'm still watering the side over there. I don't mind at all, but the reality is there's only so many hours in the day that are not hot. Like I said, it's 10 o'clock now and it's already hot, which is why I moved over here into the shade. So there's only so many hours in the day that's not hot. Even in the evenings, it's still hot. You just don't have the sun out. So yesterday I turned this on in the morning. I'm trying to do it in the morning though. That way the water can dry. I was watching Broke one day and somebody, him and Calvin were doing a live. So Broke asked the question, like, when do you think is the best time to water? I have always said at night. And I said that because the water has time to soak. It won't get evaporated, you know, soak down into the soil. It won't evaporate, blah, 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 blah. But then somebody left a comment and they said something about, I want to say mildew and disease. And I said, well, that makes sense too, if you think about it. So since I'm watering above head, essentially with the sprinkler, I'm gonna try to do it in the morning. That way when the sun comes out, it'll dry all of that water off of the plants. Hopefully it will help me to keep disease down. But I don't have the ability to hand water everything now that it's getting hot. Although I really do love to hand water. I don't think that I'll ever go through and put irrigation in because I do like to hand water. And in the fall, I definitely don't mind hand water. It's kind of cool outside, but not cold. Anyway, like I was saying, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go get cages for the tomatoes that's in the quick tent greenhouse, because so far this seems to be doing well. It's controlling the plant. The plant is staying inside of the cage, and then, like I said, because I zip tied it together, the cage doesn't really move. And so I think that I really like that. I don't know how well it would work if you didn't have them in bags and they weren't close together. For me, this is working really well so far. Another way that I'm doing it are with these. These were a bit more expensive. They are still tomato cages. They have them where they can be put together in like a actual square. Mine came triangle and they only came with 3 stakes, so I don't know what that was about. Anyway, that's how mine came. They still seem to be working fine. They have a spot in the middle, they have a spot at the bottom, and then a spot at the top. I don't expect that these plants will get that tall because they are determinate varieties. But I'm also liking this. I'm just waiting to see. Now this one has me a bit nervous because there's so much space between the plant and the next thing that stabilizes it. But we will see. These will not get pruned. Those will also not get pruned because they are determinate tomatoes. And then over here, you have some tomatoes that's on what we call the Florida weave. They are in bags. This is what I always use. It's a great way to do it. So basically you see you have a piece of string in the front, a piece of string in the back. I use a tomato clip to hold it on, and you just keep going up. I was doing this for all of my tomatoes. That's way too much work for me, but it does work. Pretty positive this will not turn out to be my favorite way to do tomatoes, but it is a way to do it. So these are also determinate, so we will not be pulling it, but this is what I was telling you. So like this is the main stem. This is a branch. This would be, or it is still, a sucker. And on an indeterminate plant, I would pull this off. On a determinate, I'm going to leave it. That's another thing though, with the Florida weave, they do still move a little bit. Now this is on here completely wrong. It should be around the main stem, but see right here, so around the main stem in the string, so they do move a little bit too. But that's not gonna turn out to be my favorite. I can assure you, it is a great way, but it is not gonna turn out to be my favorite. 100% know that. Back here, we have some indeterminates. So they are the ones that's just gonna keep growing. I have not gotten around to all of the suckers, but I have been doing it. You can see down the plant, we don't have any suckers. I have been doing that. This is on some Hortanova trellis, which is really tight. Got it from Hoss. There is a link down in my description for Hoss in case you're interested in it. And it's just around some T-posts that I zip tied. I am the zip tie queen, y'all. I'm a zip tie anything I can, baby. Anyway, I have come through and done a little bit of pruning, but not all of it. But look right there. That's a baby tomato. That's an early girl. So listen, the early girls, if you want a tomato that is going to produce early for you, try the early girls. They really, really do produce early. They stand up to their name, y'all. Over here, you have that great white. If you remember, I broke it when I was planting it. This, I just stuck back in. It was the top of the plant. I stuck it back in. It is behind the rest of the plants, of course, because it broke, but it is still alive, and it's going to give me some tomatoes eventually. But all the way down here are indeterminate San Marzanos on this Hortanova trellising. And I do think this is going to win as one of the favorites out in the garden. I believe this Hortanova is going to win as one of the favorites. And I believe that the regular cages that everybody talks about is not great, I think they're going to win, honestly. That's what I think. I think this is going to be a short video also. Oh, by the way, y'all told me to try the cages for the peppers. So I went and got a few for the peppers. We're going to see how this does. If it's doing really well, I'm going to, like, see right here, that one, I guess I'm gonna have to push it back in, but peppers do get really big and bushy. And one of my issues was I would trellis it with a old piece of metal from an old greenhouse, and it worked, but after a while they would start to lean, and I would have to try to push this stick down a little more because it's in the bags. I can't get it in the ground. Anyway, if this works, once they get big and bushy, also, do y'all notice they're not yellow anymore? I didn't do a thing to them. It was too cold, y'all. And I planted them out early. That is the only thing that was wrong with them. So I just want to show everybody that, you know, give your plant some time, especially if you know you've amended your soil well, you know what's in the soil is able to feed the plant. Give it some time, especially at transplant, because like I said, for me, I planted it out when we were still getting like low 40s. That's very cold for a pepper. Also, it has been said, I've heard people say it will stunt the peppers. I never experienced it, and so May the first week of May is when I plant out. I've never experienced that. So with that being the case, I was just letting y'all know. I did buy some. I'm gonna give these about 2 weeks, see how well they do. If they do well, I'm gonna go and get some more for these right here. Also, we're yellow when we put them in. They are green. Looky here. We love it. We love it. So, oh, that's the other thing. Somebody left me a message on Instagram. Also, let me show you this, because I think this is the picture that got the comment. But they left me a picture on Instagram. They didn't leave me no picture. They left me a message on Instagram. And they said, my algorithm is telling me to cut my peppers off. Take my flowers off. Something like that. I don't doubt her algorithm is telling her that, right? I don't follow most of the rules, y'all. I don't. So pulling off my flowers when my plants are young, I don't do it. Pulling off the flowers the first year, I don't do it. But let's just be clear. Sometimes that comes and bites me, right? My asparagus. If you've been here for the last few garden tours, my asparagus bed looked terrible, right? I have been cutting that asparagus before it died back for years now, with no problem the next year. I can now let the asparagus grow, let them fern out, let the ferns send the energy back down to the crown, and maybe I have to do that 2 or 3 years, and that's okay, it's fine. That was me. I learned for myself that you most definitely gotta let them die back. I'm sure that's what it is, because I didn't do anything different. I gave it compost and I covered it and everything. The only thing that I can think of now is that I kept cutting it early, and that's fine. I learned it for myself. But yeah, she said I need to go and answer her, but somebody else answer her. And I don't mind when other people answer because I can't always get around to answering comments. But yeah, she was like, my algorithm is telling me to cut mine. And I was like, yeah, I won't be doing that. But I do believe her when she says that's all she's seeing up and down her timeline, because you know, that is the rule that people put out there. Don't let a plant start producing flowers or producing the fruit until it looks healthy or until it looks established. To me, they look established. So I'm going to let them produce what they want to produce. And I never had a problem with it. I ain't going to say never. I might have did it in the beginning, but if you remember, I have also said that that was one of the reasons why I kind of stopped doing all the things, because there was so many rules. So I just started doing what I wanted to do and what seemed to work. Anywho, like I said, I think this is gonna be a short video. It's hot out here, number one. Number two, oh, if y'all wanna see a garden tour, you can put it down in the comments. I will do a garden tour. The last 2 didn't perform very well, and I was like, maybe people do not wanna see garden tours right now, which is fine. We will do some talking, some informational stuff, not teaching, just informational, y'all. Oh, let me show y'all these tomatoes, because I forgot all about them. I forgot because I don't normally grow tomatoes in the garden, but my block beds are doing fabulous this year. These are some more patio tomatoes. Look, y'all. And we got flowers. The plants look amazing. They've grown a lot since I put them in here. Like, I'm just very excited. I'm very, very excited. And that's another rule that I broke this year that has helped me. They say, don't dig, don't disturb the soil. It's messing with the microorganisms in the soil, this, that, and the third. I'm not saying I don't believe it. What I'm saying is, these beds weren't growing anything. The soil was really bad. It was hydrophobic. And I was like, I'm digging and I'm adding a bunch of amendments. I did that twice now. And I am growing peppers in these beds and tomatoes. If you've been here for a while, you know that has not been the case for me. So I'm happy that I broke the rule that they got out there that say don't dig, because it worked. Now, I'm not breaking that rule all over the garden because it's also better for the environment, right? That's what they say. I ain't done no test on that either. Anyway, if that is a thing, if it is probably better for the environment, then I'm not gonna do it. If I'm able to successfully grow that way. If I'm not, then I'm going to do what I have to do to actually grow vegetables. And fruit and whatever else, and flowers, and beautiful, beautiful flowers. Look at these ranunculus, y'all. Oh, they so beautiful. I always want to show y'all these. This is, look at the white moth, baby. Come get it. No, well, ain't nothing out here for it to eat, really. But anyway, look how beautiful they are. Look at that nasturtium plant over here in the shade, y'all. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. It is shaded over here. And this nasturtium is growing and has a flower in it. Oh, so, so pretty. Oh, I know what else I meant to show y'all. Look at this. That's a zinnia. That's our first zinnia about to come through in this bed. There's a wasp. We're going to leave it alone. All right. Oh, it's following us. Okay. All right, dahlias. Floret dahlias. Just beautiful. And look at all of these new ones that's about to pop out. Not that one. It's already out. The dahlias did amazing. I started these dahlias way too early, but they held on. They ended in 5-gallon pots from Bootstrap Farmer, and they held on, and now they are showing out, y'all. Like, this is so pretty. I actually really love dahlias. I said we was gonna talk about tomatoes. We talk about everything, y'all. Okay, we just gonna say this is an everything vlog. Anyway, though, I love dahlias. They are so pretty. Like, and I haven't had a lot of success with them. So this year, I'm super excited and happy that I had space to put just like all dahlias back here. They're gonna be so pretty. I do think I need to stake them. I probably will. The other two, one of them is already staked. So we're basically swooning on these flowers. Okay, snapdragons. Hello, snapdragons. Beautiful. They are, this one, so pretty. If I can find the packet, which I think I do have it, I will put it on the screen. Pretty sure they're from Botanical Interest. Also, a link down in the description for them too. But they are absolutely beautiful, y'all. Oh yes, I love a good snapdragon and these hollyhocks. This will be there last year. I have to plant them again. They're biannual. They will die out and not come back next year. But just beautiful. I let them just grow and die. I don't try to take them in the house. They too big for my house. But the rest of these, I take them in the house, y'all. And I have them on my table. The stuff that's on the table now needs to be replaced. So I'll come out here later and get them. And I do have one plant. Well, actually I have 2 ranunculus that already died out. I'm very sad because I know that that means they are coming to an end. But guess what? I showed you the zinnia that was put there to take the place of the ranunculus. This is an aster that's already about to flower too. So once these ranunculus die out, which they already are, you can see that right there. See, it's just coming right out of the soil. Once they die out, then the asters will take their place. That's an aster down there too. I do feel like I did a good job this year with making sure that I had flowers the whole time. Very happy about that. I love flowers. I think they're so pretty. I like having them in my house, and I don't have to go to the store and buy. I wasn't doing it anyway. I watch vlogs where people go to the store and they buy flowers to have in their house. I'll take them out the garden, baby. And in the winter, I just don't have none because I don't go and buy flowers from the store. Now, I could go to a, what do you call it, farmer's market and support somebody local if they have any. Anyway, this dahlia needs to be staked. It's in here with some snapdragons, and you can see they are about to start flowering too. So yeah, y'all, there's the garden. My blueberries are turning blue. I think I don't care about these blueberries that much this year. I haven't even covered them yet. But look at that. It's still kind of hard, which is why I'm not gonna harvest it. But yeah, we got blueberries turning blue. Also surprised the birds ain't got them yet. I do need to cover these. I need to put my netting up. This one is the first one. Nothing else is turning, but this one is. Yeah, so we got blueberries turning too. Oh, this is another way that I'm trellising tomatoes. I always forget about these, y'all. But it's the early girl down here with a tomato on it. It's a small one. I saw it this morning. I can't see it now. And there's some dahlias. Look at the bee on the dahlias. Anyway, that's another way we trellis tomatoes. This would be a favorite of mine too, except I'm not trying to have to go and get any more cattle panel, but I'm sure it's gonna work out really well. But that's another one. I don't know why I forget that. So I'm attaching these to the column. It's not what it's called. I'm attaching those that way too. So, oh, there it goes. That's the tomato I was telling you from the early girl, already up there. But I'm attaching it to the main column too, going up with a tomato clip. And so that's been working well for me. Y'all, I'm sorry, why am I hollering? Look at the garden. Can y'all see it? It looks so pretty. I just need the things to start coming up the trellises so it can look like a secret garden out here. It's so pretty. I actually really love it out here. So I think that is the video now. We talked about tomatoes. We talked about peppers. We talked about flowers. We talked about my excitement, just my pure excitement for the garden this year. That's looking amazing. That I'm really not having to do just a lot in right now. And I attribute a lot of that to the fact that I have decided that we're not doing Florida weave on these tomatoes anymore. Also, my leeks in this garden bed look terrible. If we do a garden tour, I'll show y'all that. Like I said, let me know down in the comments if you want to do a garden tour, and then I will get one out there for you. But anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to visit me over on Instagram, where I post about the things going on in my garden almost every day. Bye, y'all.